Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Nathan Brisson, and today, in my little series of Message of Hope or Two Coaches for the Prices of One, I'm with Dominic Scaffidi, who is an executive coach. And we've known each other for a little while through this 3P community, the small 3P community in Canada. And I will ask you, Dominic, the same thing that I've been asking everyone so far is as how this understanding, this three principles, understanding inside out, understanding whatever you want to call it, how does that help you navigate the ups and downs of life or this COVID-19 time that we're living through at the moment?
Mhm. Yeah. Well, this has been probably a great opportunity for like the testing of it in a way, right? That's what I found because we the three principles understanding has made a huge difference for me in terms of helping me to understand that that what is happening and my own feeling about what is happening and where I'm at around it is happening all within. So that's been useful because in life we think that when you lose a client or some other issue is going on or in a relationship there's conflict, well then you think you have this thing to deal with there. That's normal all the time, right? But what happened with COVID is it's kind of like escalated the in your face about how well do you understand this, how grounded are you about it. So this is what I've noticed, that it forced it feels like it kind of forced the muscle of it to another level. Yeah. So um, for for me, it's been about understanding that, knowing that everything in terms of where I'm at and how effective I am is all within um, my control. I don't know if that's a good word. Some people would argue about control, but within, I have something to do with this. Like there is some way that I can steer this. Sydney Banks talked about thought as the rudder of a ship that can steer you. Well, here we are. We're in the middle of something. How good are you at steering? And it is steering with thought. So there, because you're being presented, and I am too, right? Being presented with lots of things that can take you off course, disappointments, things that you had planned, like business that I had that I was looking forward to over the next little while, all of a sudden disappearing, right? So what now? What do you do with that? And are you going to, again, with thought, if we think about this, will you go down a path of the disappointment? What does this mean? A worry, a fear, an anxiety. This, how will I recover? So you start to
Spiral
take
down, yeah.
right? And if thought is like the rudder of a ship that steers, do you have sufficient awareness of that, or will you get lost in that? You'll find yourself lost in that, taking you wherever it goes, right? Like that. And so this has been uh, a real test of what our ability, the freedom that we have, the freedom we have in our own mind. It's kind of like theoretical in three principles. Oh,
Good, yeah,
freedom of
yeah.
mind. We have freedom of mind. Do you?
Not really.
Or are you like going down that way? So it reminds you, and you're forced to be reminded of the truth, which is to say, there is nothing outside of you that is causing you to think anything, to focus in any direction. There is nothing outside causing that, right? So if you are focused one way or the other, how does that happen? And that is a freedom that you have available to you. There always is a freedom of mind, and you have freedom of thought, and you can think anything. You can think anything.
We have no control over our thoughts to start with, right? And I think this understanding helps up to not go. We were talking about the spiral down of no. It brings you back out of it
Right.
much more quickly.
Yeah. Right. Right. And once you're out of it, it's like you know that all is well, right? All is well, right? And in the bringing you back out of it, the other thing that three principles does is remind you that there is only a space of possibility. So in your mind, it's there's lots going on. There's lots available there. There's horrible things and terrible thoughts and all kinds of stuff about your weaknesses and all like that. It's all floating around in there, right? And it's also full of possibility, all at the same time. Right? All at the same time, because it all exists. It doesn't, in other words, bad things don't exist one place and good things exist in another place. It's all happening right here, right? So the possibility for something great or, a regurgitation of stuff from the past, everything's available to you now. It's like having some sort of the internet is a good example. I mean, the internet is just a possibility of anything. But the question is, what are you looking at right now? Because whatever you're looking at right now, they will keep feeding you more of it, right? so you will be fed more of that. Oh, you're interested in conspiracy theories? Let me show you a few more, right? Here's a few more. Are you interested in what the death rate is for this? Oh, well, let me show you more. And by the way, we have people who are projecting what it'll turn into. Let me give you those ones as well, right? So the internet's just a great example of this. Then you find yourself in it. Well, this is the same as our mind. And so the part that becomes important is, how do I feel in this? Because this is my life. This is my life, and how am I feeling in my life with what I'm looking at and what I'm experiencing. And if you don't like it, you don't have to stay stuck in it.
Yeah, some people call it mood or level of consciousness, but they're like glasses through which we see the world. A bit like Facebook now, when you said they give you more, oh, you conspiracy theory, here's some more. It's the same thing for the glasses that we put on, and then we see the life or what's experiencing at the moment through those lenses, those glasses.
Yeah, and I mean, it's in my work too. I can see it's taken my coaching with my clients to a different place as well, because what's happened with them is, of course, the challenge of this, the disruption of it is, all it does is it sort of stops the pattern and the comfort and the repetition. I think that's what it's done. So instead of us just getting on the same track, thinking in the same way, this has really caused a stop and a disruption of that. Now, in the middle of that, you could experience it, and some of my clients have, where for instance, it's knocked them off balance and they begin spiraling down like that, right? But as leaders, many of them are leaders in organizations that I work with, that a crisis also calls you to step up and be a leader in a way that you've never been called to step up before. And so they're in that place. Will they get knocked down by it, or are they called to step up, and will they step up to it? And all of this from a 3P perspective becomes, well, how aware are you in terms of mind and thought, what you're giving attention to and what's happening with that. So
As you're talking, it reminds me of the hero's journey. What is his name? What is his name? The guy who did lots of work on hero's journey, but it's the same thing, no?
Joseph
Crisis,
Campbell, I
stepping
think.
up, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
Well,
what people are living through right now.
right. And they're learning, right? They're learning about themselves, or the way to say it is they are realizing more of who they really are. Because you are not who you think.
Mm.
Because who you think you are is only a limitation of all that you are. And so when you encounter this, and then you're thinking that what's going to happen, and how will you respond, and how are you going to get yourself out of this, or how will you come out well? So particularly the negative feeling is relating and arising from negative thought. So it's really thought that is a limitation of who you are. So as you think yourself small, it feels bad. And the more you're able to be more open-minded, be more open to new thinking, then new thinking can come that has more possibility in it. And how you can tell is it feels better. Well, if it feels better, the thinking is taking you closer to all that you are versus away from all that you are. Yeah.
Time of possibility.
And it's, well, and see, this is the thing, because who you really are is limitless possibility. It's infinite possibility. Who we will ever be in any moment, in this moment, is a limitation of that. Now, that's not negative. It's the way it is. It's the truth. You standing right now and me here, this is not all that we are. Well, isn't that exciting? This is very, very exciting. So any issue or problem that we're facing is simply one of a limitation of all that I am. As I can open up to more of who I really am, this issue or problem will no longer be an issue or a problem. And I think that's been helpful through COVID a lot.
A bit like the
To know
Marianne
that.
Williamson quote. Remember
Mm.
the Marianne Williamson quote? No.
With the shine your light so that
Yes,
others.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I will have to find the perfect quote, but it's that
Yeah.
you're more powerful than, yeah, you're more afraid
Yeah.
of your light than.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so true. We see that. I mean, take a look at all the frontline workers. Why are we, and I'm so funny because I get all in tears when I see this, right? Like, what the nurses, the doctors, and you hear these stories about what people are doing, how neighbors are getting groceries for elderly people who are at home and leaving them on the front. There's all these things going on, and I get all teary. And why is that? Because people are becoming more
Mm.
of all that they are and expressing it. And so you're seeing heroes. You said the hero journey, right? The hero's journey. Well, we're seeing heroes all over the place. And that's very moving, like to see that. And what all that is busted up thinking, right? That was locking people in place into being small and living ordinary and feeling like they didn't make any difference. and all of a sudden this thing comes in and sort of knocks that all aside, and your mind is free to see you are more than that, and we're discovering it.
Well, that's a message of hope, that's for sure. But thank you, Dominic, for your time.
Well,
And where
thank you,
can people
Martin. I
find you?
appreciate the
If the
invitation.
people want to reach you, how can they find you?
Okay, so if they're watching this on Facebook, I mean, just friend me on Facebook, and my About page has everything: my email, my phone, my websites. And the best website is hrpossibilities.com. So hrpossibilities.com is my one. It'll have everything there, right? So,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I will put on. Well, thank you again for your time, Dominic.
Okay, thanks, Martine.
Stay
Awesome.
safe.
You too. Bye.
Oh, I made this.